Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook. And it's a cold morning as we've had in the last few days. Today, we get together as usual to look at headlines from our city, state, and country, along with your own comments, ideas, questions, and suggestions, and thoughts, and all the good stuff that we combine so that we can have a better life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. A better life how? Well, connecting with each other, connecting with our surroundings, and connecting with Mexico's way of life, our culture, and so forth. You know the drill, but I always like to say it. Today is Wednesday, December 28th, and it's a pleasure to get together with each and every one of you. And of course, as usual, if this is the first time that you're watching live and you wish to share this fact with us, all you have to do is write the word new in your comments, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. And if you have important questions, and I suspect there may be some today given the news, it helps a great deal if you add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your question or comment so that we can identify it and we can bring it up in conversation during the chit chat section. There's a lot of stuff to go through today. Good news and important news and some earth-shattering news that I need to share with you. It all started yesterday. Well, I have to be open about this. I've been hearing grumblings of increased volcanic activity in near the town of Mascota, and I thought it may have been just crazy information, but there's been all the earthquakes. Anyhow, yesterday I was, and I'm going to go directly into the news. I'm not even going to do the little music because there's a lot to cut through. Yesterday, thanks to a close friend, I learned of and was able to attend an important meeting that took place at a hotel in Marina Vallarta. And I thought this would have something to do with the increased volcanic activity that's going on near the town of Mascota, where a volcano could erupt at any time. The meeting was attended by top-level members of Puerto Vallarta's current administration, who were gathered along with representatives from the local business chambers of commerce, the Restaurant Chamber of Commerce, and the Tourism Bureau. Last but not least, there were representatives from the Emiliano Zapata Neighborhood Association there to gather, all gathering to hear an important announcement to be made by Mayor Luis Michel. So I thought to myself, oh my God, there is volcanic activity in Mascota and things are going to get ugly. But no. Mayor Luis Michel made an announcement that startled everybody, but thank goodness. Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's volcanic activity in Mascota or not, but what the mayor announced is that Colonia Emiliano Zapata will be completely car-free by the end of the first quarter of 2023 or April 1st. Yes, you heard me right. As of April 1st of 2023, there will be no cars circulating through Colonia Emiliano Zapata. Of course, as soon as he made the announcement, it became clear how monumental this move is going to be and how important it is to obtain the support of all the aforementioned entities, all the chambers of commerce and whatnot. It is good for the environment, it is good for tourism, and it is good for all of us, was a phrase that was repeated a number of times as Mayor Michel began breaking down the logistics of such an important change, although it is not an entirely unprecedented one. For starters, Mayor Michel was quick to point out how the historic center in Guanajuato is now completely free of cars, giving pedestrians an ability to move about. And of course, given the complexities of traffic through the traditional narrow streets in this important colonial town, the mayor continued to argue his point by saying how the historic center in Mazatlán has flourished since motor vehicles were removed from this beautiful part of the city. But how would this work in Puerto Vallarta's most popular tourism neighborhood is what a lot of people were asking. There were a lot of questions raised, but the mayor broke it down into several areas, which I will outline and do my best to explain, and I'm sure you will have a lot of questions as well. Mayor Michel first outlined the basics. Now, because some of the streets in Colonia Emiliano Zapata are part of Highway 200, vehicles will still be able to travel through the streets highlighted here on this map. Then, for example, southbound traffic will be allowed into Emiliano Zapata coming in along, are you seeing my pointer? Yes, along Ignacio Vallarta Street, then taking a left onto Basilio Vadillo, and either heading south along Highway 200 or continuing back into the city through the Libramiento. Incoming Libramiento traffic can continue until Venustiano Carranza and then take a left as well. Take a left until reaching Insurgentes Street and then continuing to the highway. It is worth mentioning that Insurgentes Street will also continue to allow vehicular traffic north, particularly after the city and the state spent so much money renovating the Insurgentes Street Bridge after last year's Hurricane Nora. But vehicular traffic through any other streets in Colonia Emiliano Zapata will be strictly forbidden after April 1st, which when you think of it makes sense because this is just one day before Semana Santa begins this coming year. Now, moving right along, when it comes to public transportation, city buses coming through El Centro will stop at the Benito Juarez parking lot up here on the map, taking a left onto Agustin Rodriguez Street, which is the last street in El Centro where you can take a left turn and then take another left turn to head north along Juarez Street going this way, which is the last street where, yes. And then in a similar fashion, city buses coming into Emiliano Zapata through El Libramiento are going to be able to take a left right on Naranjo Street, where El Brujo restaurant is, and then head back to the tunnel and all points north. And everything seems to indicate that the regional buses that head out towards El Tuito and the Botanical Gardens and so forth will also depart from this point moving forward. Then the mayor continued to explain what will happen to people that already own cars in Emiliano Zapata. How are they going to get in and out of the neighborhood? Well, when it comes to car owners living in Emiliano Zapata, these will be divided into two groups based on whether they live in a home or building that has a parking space within the property or not. And those, so I'm so overwhelmed with all these news, I cannot even think straight. I'm sorry. Those people who live in homes or buildings with their own parking garages, if you live in a house or a condo building where you have your own parking garage inside of the property. You will be allowed to drive in and out of your home in any street of Emiliano Zapata between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning and between 6:30 and 7:30 in the evening to provide people the opportunity to go to work or do their shopping and whatnot if they have to. Now, if on the other hand, you're a vehicle owner and your building or home does not have an indoor parking lot, or in other words, if you usually park on the street, you will have to apply for a special sticker to be able to park your car at the Lázaro Cárdenas underground parking lot, where an additional underground level will be built. Another parking lot is expected to be built in El Caloso on Invierno Street, right next to the Riviera Quale condos. In other words, this image that I just showed you featuring a car parked on the streets, on the sidewalk, will become a thing of the past through Colonia Emiliano Zapata as of April 1st this year. Now, for any buildings presently under construction in Emiliano Zapata, by law, they must be built with enough parking spaces for every unit. So if you recently purchased a condo in Emiliano Zapata, you are in luck, as there is already a parking spot in place for you, if the developer followed the law, of course. Regardless, condo dwellers will only be able to move their vehicles at the aforementioned hours. Now, you're probably wondering about businesses that constantly require supplies being delivered at their doorsteps, restaurants that need supplies and beer and so forth and so on. Apparently, the state has negotiated special rates for electrical vehicles such as these, which are implemented in London to deliver mail. They will be conditioned with larger storage areas behind the driver's seat, and these will be allowed to circulate through any street in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. For deliveries that can only be made on larger vehicles, such as the Coca-Cola truck, for example, or the beer truck, these vehicles will only be able to enter Emiliano Zapata after midnight and until 5 a.m. in the morning to make those deliveries. These guidelines will also apply to trash collection service, which will stop creating chaos during the daytime. And then, of course, there were people in the restaurant association that we're so used now to people having food delivered to their homes. This has become an important source of revenue for restaurants, especially after the pandemic. Well, when it comes to food deliveries, Uber has been developing its own line of delivery drones, according to Forbes magazine, and has even initiated a series of trial runs in San Diego. A representative for the company commented, "We are thrilled to make Puerto Vallarta the first city in Mexico and all of Latin America to be the test site for our new and exciting drone delivery service." I will leave you to a link. I will leave you with a link to the Forbes article in the show notes, along with information on the new British electric delivery vehicles that will be imported. Now, I know that these are just preliminary steps, but if you ask me, I think it's very exciting to consider that 3 months from now, we will be able to walk freely through all of Emiliano Zapata, and for those that need walking assistance, to be able to use your wheelchair through the increasing number of streets that are being modernized with hydraulic concrete in the neighborhood. And that was the gist of the announcements made by the mayor. But there are other news that are somber that I must bring to your attention. A multi-million-dollar class action lawsuit has been issued against our city, against the city of Puerto Vallarta, on behalf of a conglomerate of United States-based talent agencies representing artists such as Cher, Beyonce, Bruno Mars, and others, along with the estates of Amy Winehouse, George Michael, and Elvis Presley. The unprecedented action, spearheaded by a company called Talent Management Associates, or TMA, stems from the proliferation of tribute shows presented in our city, none of which have cleared the performances with the aforementioned artists, nor have they invited the artists to attend these tribute shows. Beyonce, who reportedly purchased an exclusive residence in Punta Mita Estates development a few months ago, made a guest appearance in a late night show, apparently indicating how excited she was to become a part of Puerto Vallarta's thriving community of multi talented performers. I just wish I had been invited to my own gig, said the artist. Now, the question in everyone's mind is who will fork the bill to settle the legal action? Heated discussions took place behind closed doors at City Hall this week between Mayor Michel's administrative team and representatives from the Puerto Vallarta Tourism Bureau, as they have for years been promoting our city as a place to enjoy top-level entertainment. At moments, Mayor Michel could be heard pointing fingers at the Tourism Bureau and all their promotional efforts, blaming them. And at some point, when the doors to City Hall opened to the conference room momentarily, someone was clearly heard saying, if the entertainment venues created this mess, they should pay for the consequences. Of course, no representative from any of the popular venues were invited to the meeting, and I'm sure we will be hearing more about this in days to come. Two more bits of news before we head into our weather break. Since its inception, we've made a commitment here at Coffee and Headlines to remain advertiser free, to maintain a clear editorial line regarding relying solely on your own financial contributions. And I am very pleased to announce that I've found a sponsor that is coming in to our show in the month of January. This sponsor has made a commitment to never interfere with our choice of content in any way, and will make things extremely smooth financially for Luna and I moving forward. Of course, the sponsor has asked to remain anonymous until our contract begins, and he has asked for two small changes to our format. Number one, no more weather in Fahrenheit degrees, and number two, no more news in English. This means I will be spending some time in the next few broadcasts teaching you how to engage closed captioning in English in both Facebook and YouTube, so you can continue to enjoy our news section. The comment section at the end of each broadcast, of course, will remain in English, and all that I ask of you is for your support through this very important transition. Last but not least, today is December 28. And according to Catholic tradition, this is the day in which we celebrate the Dia de los Inocentes, or Holy Innocents' Day, in memory of the biblical story of King Herod's orders to execute male babies in Bethlehem in order to kill baby Jesus. Upon hearing of this news, he ordered all children in Bethlehem to be killed, all children under the age of 2, in an effort to wipe out all competition to his throne. But an angel warned the Holy Family, and they sought refuge in a foreign land to save the life of their baby, the Christ child. So King Herod was effectively pranked. Of course, here in Mexico, it is customary for newspapers and other news outlets to publish fake headlines and news stories as a prank, in similar fashion as in April Fool's Day in the United States. So if you've believed anything that has come out of my mouth so far in this broadcast, you've been had. Feliz Día de los Inocentes. The sun is too damn bright, says Snarky Weather. It is 26 degrees right now. Feels like 26 degrees. Humidity is at 33%. And that is no April Fool's Day joke. Fahrenheit degrees, of course, we'll continue to mention them. It's 79 degrees right now, and our weather forecast is... Oh, no, we don't want that. Hold on just a second. Our weather forecast is clear through the day with a high of 30 and a low of 18. Tomorrow, Thursday, partly cloudy through the day with a high of 30 and a low of 20. And then Friday, clear through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 17. I have to tell you that keeping a straight face during all that mess takes an effort. But we do have a couple of real news that I do wish to share with you. starting with this issue of the small aircraft, a small aircraft bound for the city of McAllen, Texas, took off from the Puerto Vallarta International Airport yesterday, only to experience mechanical failures shortly after takeoff and crashing into the El Salado Estuary near Colonia Rincón del Puerto, and sending both pilot and co pilot to the hospital with injuries. They are both reported as stable. Biologist and director of the estuary, Jaime Alberto Torres, quickly headed to the scene of the crash along with other specialists to ascertain possible environmental damages. The good news is that despite the aircraft crashed in a dry area of the estuary, and despite the fact that its fuel tank was completely full, there were no environmental damages caused to the estuary, and that is real good news. Also, yesterday afternoon, Mexico's Federation Daily Journal published a new vacation increase law, which was recently approved by the Senate and subsequently signed into law by President López Obrador. The new law goes into effect on January 1st, entitling all workers to twice as many paid vacation days after having worked for the same company for a year, and subsequent vacation day increases to workers with more longevity. And this was published yesterday afternoon, not today, so there is no reason for us to think that this is a prank headline. We're done. Woohoo! Happy Dia de los Inocentes. Now let's take a look at your comments. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We might see the sun today in sunny Cali. I don't know if that is Cali, Colombia, or Cali, California, but hopefully you'll see the sun today, Deb. Excuse me. Karen Miller is back home. Good to be back to my routine. You know, isn't that so, Karen? And anyone that welcomes guests or travels through the holidays. You know, I definitely encourage anyone that either went away or welcomed people to give yourself some time to unwind and go back into your own groove. Good for you, Karen. Let's see what else we have. Oh no, I don't know where Paula is, but she says we're out of the deep freeze. That is good news. Does anyone have a referral for a good rental agent in Puerto Vallarta to find a tenant? Please private message me if you can. Many thanks. I personally don't, Dave, but I sure hope that you will find some good connections from other members of the cluster. Let's see what else we had. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for the suggestion for the volcanic activity in Mascota. It was a last-minute suggestion, but I was happy to throw it in. Let's see. Carmen knew that we were onto something, and she just added this to the broadcast. I love it. Let's see. And Luisa, who knew that we were going to be pranky today, says, you can do your walking tours, your walking videos safer. Oh, honey. And Catherine thought I was going to talk about parking meters on Emiliano Zapata. I love it. Spencer, you've been had. Great project and objective. Wouldn't that be nice? Actually, in reality, wouldn't it be nice if vehicular traffic was removed from, if not all of the streets in Emiliano Zapata, certainly anything west of Ignacio Vallarta. It's like, I don't even see the point of having cars through those streets. Let's see. Is Paco smoking in the morning? Hello, Dave. It's good to see you. I don't smoke in the morning. It makes me very, very clumsy. The Uber drones did it for me. Well, I'll have you know, Terry, that is an actual legitimate headline. Uber is indeed, according to some news items that I saw some time ago, They are doing test pilot programs, no pun intended, in certain cities, and they are developing delivery drones, but not here. Oh my God, can you imagine? Uh, oh no, what about taxis? How will tourists or condo residents staying on the beach get to or from their residence? Doug, you have been had. I just wish I had been invited to my own gig, says Beyonce. Thank you, Daniel. You know, it's like so many. Well, I'm not even going to get into the tribute shows. All I'm going to say is they're not for me, with very few exceptions. And I will tell you, Joelle Rabu and her son, Nico Rhodes, are in town doing an Edith Piaf. And she is the real deal. They are doing this at the Palm. That is a tribute show. Definitely investing in, because Joelle has been embracing the repertoire of Edith Piaf and other singers, other chanteuses, for many, many years, and her show is absolutely brilliant. Nancy Page says, ha ha ha. Luisa says, what? And Paula says, I better brush up on my Spanish. Oh, honey. I love it. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. You know, it happens once a year, and I will let you know, I start collecting these ideas early on in the year. And I usually, in the past couple of years, I've given you a warning, but this time we decided to play things differently. I only sent a courtesy email to members, to subscribing members of the broadcast, and so that the joke is on everybody else but. Thank you, Charlotte. Excellent writing. Those two words mean the world to me, because it does take a lot of time to write these news and read them out loud with a straight face. I appreciate that comment from you. Is it April Fool's Day? Duh, no, because this is December. It is Mexican kind of April Fool's Day, as I explained. You keep such a straight face. Imagine if I was high, that wouldn't happen. Luisa says, okay la. I love it. Oh, thank you for this question, Ashley. And this is no April Fool's item. I was out of town and I missed the last meet and greet. Would you please tell me when the next one will be? Thank you, Paco. Well, actually, I can, because I was walking around town. Let me whip up my calendar. I was walking around town yesterday, and I was coming back home, and I stopped with Gina and said to her, can you handle another meet and greet? And she said, absolutely. And I said to her, it has to be not on a Thursday, because we want Bill from the bakery to be able to join, and it has to be without live music so we can actually have a conversation. So our winter meet and greet, or yes, this is winter. Our winter meet and greet will be on Friday, January 20th at 6 p.m. at Whiskey Kitchen. I will be doing all the promotional stuff in the next couple of days, but since this just was confirmed yesterday, you're the first to know. There you go. So Friday, January the 20th. Let's see what else. How the hell do you keep a straight face? Well, it's exhausting. It is tiring, but here we are. Beyonce didn't talk about us. Well, she did. I just didn't get into it. You were so professional and believable. Thank you very much. What else do we have? Let's see. Many comments about this. I heard a report that you are sending the broadcast of Coffee and Headlines to run for political office, namely President of Mexico. I know, no. That is definitely fake news. What? Oh, Ryan. Oh no. Did Ryan do what? New project in Puerto Vallarta. Today, a church. Tomorrow, a new condo tower. Want to stay close with your Catholic roots? Oh my goodness, this is precious. Have we got a project for you, for all the Puerto Vallarta lovers out there? Our Lady of Guadalupe may be granting you this blessing. Convert an old church into a modern day hashtag condo tower. That's right, living in Holy Land and have easy access to heavenly amenities and great views at the reach of your hands. Don't miss out on divine real estate opportunity. This project is still in its pre-construction phase, but you can check out the details. There's a web link for this. I love it. Of course, as in all divinity-related housing, the only way you're going to be able to walk in and out of your new holy condo is on your knees. And that's my personal contribution. Let's see. Well, we had a notable exception yesterday, Mark. Some well-intended cluster member that was clearly unfamiliar with this tradition, this Mexican tradition, yesterday asked during the broadcast with a cue at the beginning. So when is the prank thing that you're going to do tomorrow? So I had a little panic attack, but hopefully none of you noticed. Thank you for that endorsement, Nancy. Here is the only tribute show that I would spend money on in this town. Joelle Rabu and her son Nico Rhodes performing together. I had the privilege of collaborating with them many years ago in a project that I produced at the Palm, and they are incredibly talented musicians. If you want to see an amazing tribute show, one that is really worth the money, one that will enrich your soul, try to catch Joelle and Nico at the Palm before they leave. Hopefully next get together during second half of January is after the 17th. Yes, you should be all set, Spencer, because we just announced this to be January the 20th. You fooled me 2 years in a row. You owe me a drink. I love it. Let's see what else. Next meet and greet on my calendars. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you very much. I think we are done. Yes, we survived April Fool's Day. If you go out looking at newspapers today, just watch out for those sneaky headlines. And I'm so glad to see that Ryan Donner and Associates are in on the joke. I'm going to go check out that link, and I love it. And of course, I will see you back here tomorrow in English, as we always have and as we always will. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you back tomorrow.